How exactly did you meet Joseline initially?
I met Joseline through mutual friends. You know, I never been in a strip club. I never danced at a strip club. I met her through a mutual friend of mine when she moved to Atlanta, and we just started hanging out, which was probably like 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago.
At what point did you guys start doing business?
We started doing business probably like 6 months before we started doing Loving Hip Hop Atlanta. You know, basically she was trying to do music at that time. She was working with a little girl, and she wanted to manage her. So she saw me managing an artist, and she was interested in starting doing management. So I was just showing her the ropes of how to, you know, how we basically could get money and capitalize off this.
Describe what your various duties are working with, you know, when you were working with Joseline.
Basically, my duties were everything. I started off, first she needed a place, so I had to get her a place. You know, that's out of the realm of doing management or, you know, booking. I was booking every show her and Stevie had, including myself, and D-Dot would come in and help on Stevie's end. But basically, I was the booking agent, manager. I'm the one that basically everybody called to get in touch with Joseline, including VH1.
At what point did things start to kind of go south with you and Joseline?
Basically, when we were doing shows, sometimes she would get in her moods where she, you know, felt as though she wasn't, you know, small enough anymore to basically go walk on a field at Albany State. She didn't show up for a show there. A group of college students, you know, they brought her in for their homecoming. And she started basically saying she didn't want to go. Like, oh, I'm not going. I'm tired. I came from another city and I'm just not going to show up. So that went to reflecting my business, you know what I mean, as far as it was my company, my business, and I run a reputable company. So at that point, she did not want to abide by either returning the deposit, or it just was like, oh, fuck that. I'll get them their money whenever I can or whenever I feel like it.
At what point did you guys officially end your relationship, your business relationship?
We ended our relationship November 16th. She had a show November 16th of 2013. She had a show in Detroit, and the flight was delayed, and she felt as though she didn't want to go. She was not going. At that point, she had already, the day before, she had already went through Stevie's phone and found out he had different females, different people, all in his phone at the house, all type of nude pictures. So she was really feeling insecure at that time anyway. So she didn't show up to the show in Detroit. So her thing was, I'm not going, this flight is delayed and I'm out of here. So I kept asking her for the refund. That's when she was like, oh, I'll get it whenever I get it. Oh, they could wait, you know, but you're the one that canceled the show. So at that point, that was the last time I heard from her.
Joseline lashed out at you and called you a scam artist.
I'm from the streets, Vlad. You know, I do what I do, but at the same time, those charges were dismissed. So it wasn't like it was a conviction. I did get convicted of a distribution of heroin charge back in 2002 from the feds. I had a federal case. I did my time, you know, and it is what it is. You know, all my people that I know in Miami, Atlanta, they know who I am. They know I'm not a scam artist. They know I don't do scams. That's not my forte. So at the time I was in the streets hustling, you know, I was dealing with a guy who was very known in Miami, who was a millionaire, and at that time got caught up in a conspiracy.
How much jail time did you do over that heroin charge?
5 years. With me having no prior convictions, they started me off with a 5-year sentence, which was a 60-month sentence. I was caught with basically they had a phone conversation in reference to a kilogram of heroin.
There was a bunch of stuff posted on, I think, MediaTakeOut and so forth. Now, was that accurate or was it not accurate?
All those were lies, and they were definitely not accurate on MediaTakeOut. That's why I was really furious about the article, because nobody ever reached out to me like you did to even clarify what were those charges and what was going on about that. You know what I mean? So I think it was just a tactic where somebody just sent the email in like, oh yeah, let me say this. That email, everything was in it was false. You know, the conviction for the credit card thing, as it showed itself, if you looked at the picture, the charges had been discharged or dismissed in the state of Florida, in the city of Miami. It happened at Bell Harbor in Miami. I was with an individual, and that individual got caught, and they locked all of us up. So they ended up dropping the charges against me because I didn't have anything to do with that. And the only thing that was accurate was the federal charge, you know what I mean? Which they didn't even know what the federal thing was. It just posted that I had been in the feds. But they never put like why. And most of the time, you won't be able to know that unless you ask the individual or the people that's on the case.